The Philadelphia Phillies are coming off another big win against the Toronto Blue Jays. They won that ball game Saturday afternoon at Citizens Bank Park to take the first two games of this three-game series. They wrap it up today, Sunday afternoon, hopefully going for a series sweep. But at the very least, they already got the series victory over the Blue Jays, making that two consecutive series won, going back to last series against the Chicago Cubs. I was at the game yesterday. It was fun. I had a great time down there at the bank. Hope you guys all can get out there too sometime this season if you can, if you're able to. It's always a great time. Anyway, welcome into Phillies Daily, guys. I'm your host, Mike Hennelly. Make sure you guys subscribe for more Phillies content. Max Kepler was the hero yesterday in that Phillies win over the Blue Jays. The veteran offseason acquisition, the former longtime Minnesota Twin, the Phillies left fielder. He hit a home run in the 8th inning to give the Phillies the lead, which ended up being enough to get the Phillies the big win over the Blue Jays. Now, Max Kepler, he has been a pretty streaky and inconsistent hitter so far with the Phillies in 2025 during his first season with the team. But he does have power. He does hit some home runs. And yesterday was an example of that. Max Kepler came up big. He had the late inning heroics for the Phillies to help them stay in the win column and continue their winning ways against pretty good teams, against the Cubs and now the Blue Jays. So great to see. Hopefully they can keep that momentum going today against the Blue Jays to go for the series sweep and continue that right in to the next series against the Miami Marlins. Christopher Sanchez took the mound yesterday and he pitched an absolute gem of a game for the Phillies. Just like Ranger Suarez did the other day, Christopher Sanchez, one of the other lefties in the starting rotation for the Phillies, went out there and tossed a 7-inning gem. Obviously, he went 7 innings. He allowed 5 hits, but most importantly, Christopher Sanchez did not allow a single walk in that ball game. He has struggled all season long in 2025 with command. He's walking a ton of batters. Yesterday, no walks. That's great to see. Hopefully, he keeps that up moving forward throughout the season because that really has been his biggest flaw, his biggest thing holding him back in 2025, giving up the free passes to base runners, to batters. But yesterday, no walks in those 7 innings. He allowed just 2 earned runs and he had 5 strikeouts. Like I said, back-to-back 7-inning gems by the Phillies with Ranger Suarez the other day and now Christopher Sanchez. When the Phillies starting rotation is going good, they are just purely unhittable and dominant. They are right up there with the best, if not the best, starting rotation in all of Major League Baseball. And Christopher Sanchez is a big factor into that. Now, yesterday, the Phillies also had some solid performance out of their bullpen. They haven't been great in 2025. We all know this. It's been a huge weakness for the team so far throughout the first couple months of the season. But yesterday, arguably, the Phillies' top 2 relievers got the job done in a close game against the Toronto Blue Jays in relief of Christopher Sanchez, who, as I said, pitched a very good game to start. Orion Kirkring, he came in for the 8th inning. He pitched a scoreless 8th inning. And then Matt Strahm, an all-star last year, the lefty out of the bullpen for the Phillies. He's had his fair share of struggles so far in 2025. But Matt Strahm got the job done last night, or yesterday afternoon, I should say, to pick up that win against the Blue Jays. He recorded the save. He threw just 7 pitches, and of those 7 pitches, 5 of them were strikes. So Matt Strahm went out there. He got the job done. He was dominant, and he secured another Phillies win to keep them in the win column. Hopefully, as we get closer to this July 31st trade deadline, if you've watched previous videos of mine, you know, and if you've just watched the Phillies in general in 2025, you know that it's no secret that the Phillies need bullpen help. Even with Matt Strahm and Ryan Kirkring pitching well out of there, they still need all the help they can get. Every team can use bullpen help. It's just one of those areas of a team that can always be upgraded, that teams are always looking to get better in and have just an abundance of quality arms there. One guy that the Phillies could trade for at the trade deadline is veteran reliever, veteran closer, Kenley Jansen. Kenley Jansen, you probably remember him with the Dodgers for a little while there. He is now with the Angels, the Los Angeles Angels. Kenley Jansen, he is their closer there. He's not having the greatest season of his career. He's got a 4.37 ERA with the Angels so far in 2025. He's 37 years old. He's up there in age. He's a right-handed pitcher, but he is perfect with saves this season. He's 14 for 14 in saves opportunities. So he's still getting the job done late in the games for the Angels, even at his 37-year-old age. He is on track, and he is definitely going to be a Hall of Fame pitcher, a Hall of Fame closer when he decides to wrap up his career and call it quits. He will be a free agent after the season, so the Phillies will most likely, if they were to trade for him, just getting the couple months out of the season and into the playoffs with Kenley Jansen, a one-year rental. Him being a free agent after this season decreases his trade value to some extent, and him being 37 years old and not having the best ERA in 2025 also lowers his trade value just a bit. But Kenley Jansen, he is still getting the job done at his age. He's still a very good closer in Major League Baseball, and the Phillies can benefit from that for sure. You can't sit there and rely on these same guys day in and day out with the Phillies. Now, Matt Strahm, like I said, he's been struggling. He hasn't had his best season. He did good yesterday, but overall, if you go back and look at certain games, look at his numbers overall, just not the season you want to see out of Matt Strahm. Same with Ryan Kirkring. He hasn't been perfect this year in the late inning high leverage role for the Phillies. Jordan Romano, obviously, he's had his fair share of disappointments and low moments with the Phillies. Jose Alvarado, he's suspended. He's not allowed to play in the playoffs if the Phillies were to make it that far. And then really, other than that, that's the Phillies' late inning high leverage guys that they've been using, and they just need more consistent and more reliable arms out there as they make this playoff push, as they make a championship World Series push. And Kenley Jansen could definitely be a big piece for the Phillies to close out this 2025 season and into the playoffs and help them get to where they want to be, holding up the World Series championship on Broad Street in front of a sea of red in Philadelphia. Hopefully that happens. I would love to see it. Last time that happened was 2008. I was just a little kid. But anyway, thank you guys for watching this episode of Phillies Daily. I'm your host, Mike Hennelly. Make sure you guys like, comment, share, and subscribe for more Phillies content. Let's go, Phils. Hopefully they get this series win against the Blue Jays today to wrap up this series. And like I just said, as always, go Phils.